Did Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius personally persecute Christians? Well, it depends on your definition of persecute. In 177 AD, a group of Christians in the city of Lyon refused to participate in the worship of the Roman gods and goddesses, so the emperor's agents arrested them and put them to death. We have a detailed account of this from a letter written by the bishop of that city, and it's the only contemporary source that directly accuses Marcus Aurelius of persecuting Christians. But is that really what happened? Well, as with most things in ancient history, the answer is complicated. You see, at that time, the Roman Empire was officially tolerant of all religious practices, as long as those practices didn't disrupt the public order. The cult of the emperor was the one exception to this rule, and that is because the cult of the emperor was used to promote civic duty and loyalty to Rome, so participating in the cult was a requirement for full Roman citizenship. And if you weren't a Roman citizen, well then you were a subject of the empire, and you had to participate in the cult as a sign of your loyalty. Not participating was seen as a form of disloyalty, kind of like not voting in an election. It's a civic duty. So if you didn't vote, people would ask, why don't you care about the future of our country? That was the thinking of the Romans. So the issue for Christians was that they could either participate in the cult or be seen as disloyal subjects of the empire. Now this law applied to everyone. If you were a Roman citizen, you had to participate in the cult. It didn't matter if you were a Jew or a Christian or a philosopher. It didn't matter. Everyone had to do it. So back to the martyrs of Lyon. They didn't get persecuted by Marcus Aurelius personally. Instead, they were victims of imperial policy. The real question is, why did Marcus Aurelius remain silent about Christians in his personal writings? Did he just not think they were that big of a deal? Or his writings do shed some light on that. You see, in his personal journal, which he called Meditations, Marcus Aurelius wrote extensively about his duties as an emperor, and those duties included maintaining the safety and stability of his empire. He wrote about criminals and how to deal with them. He wrote about corrupt officials and how to deal with them, but he didn't write about Christians. In fact, the word Christian does not appear a single time in Meditations. So it's possible that he really didn't think they were that big of a deal, and that's supported by other historical sources. See, in 180 AD, the emperor wrote a letter to the people of Athens after their philosopher Epictetus had been accused of being a Christian, and in that letter Marcus Aurelius described Christians as a harmless sect. So it seems that Marcus Aurelius didn't personally persecute Christians. He didn't even consider them a threat. For more about the real persecution of Christians, starting with the man who did persecute them, check out the series in the description below.